Well, hello everyone. Glad you're here. We're just getting ready to set space, calling the dragons. See what it is they want and who they are, etc. So very interesting. Glad to have you here with us. So March 21st, 2026. So let's first of all just sit with your breath, letting your breath bring your focus, your attention into your body. Into this place where your physical body is on the planet, holding space for your soul body, your intelligence to be here. Breath that we call the breath is so much like this is your stream of life. And we breathe in a portion of it every day, all the time, so that our bodysuit continues to exist, to hold us firmly on planet Earth. So we're meeting today on the sacred ground of sovereignty, a space that has been designed and created and curated over many years to be a space where we are free from entanglement of dominating energy, targeting energies. We are here in compatibility with one another to learn together, to share ideas. And what we share in this circle stays in this circle. We're here to learn more, to be more of our true nature soul, and also to explore other life forms that might be here to help us help them that we hadn't considered before. That is our purpose today, inviting in the dragon kingdom to know more about these life forms. This is a time when all life needs to hold hands with one another. Humanity, divine souls, Gaia, all of her creations, and so many other kingdoms. So we're here with boundaries set for our safety, our guidance, for our uplifting nourishment and learning. We call in those beings beyond our earth who come with each one of you, your friends, your teams, whatever name you give them, to be here with you in the light, in exploring greater areas of what we call life field. We're grateful for Gaia for allowing us to be here to continue our work of restoration to our soul home energy, as well as helping her in her restoration to her original sovereignty, creativity, and intelligence. Thank you, Gaia, for allowing us to be here. Our commitment is to work with you in honor, respect, and commonality of good. So let that feel intention, feel your breath. Your breath, feel this circle. And we are anchored here as an island of sovereignty, light, knowledge to expand the entire field of life. And so it is. So with that, when you're ready, bring your attention to this circle. And the first thing we're going to do, always just place ourselves in this field, this circle, your name, where you are on the planet, and what is curious and felt that you wanted to be here when we said dragons. So I will begin, and then I'll just tag the next person, and we'll just tag around till everyone's here. place in the circle. So we'll do that now. Sharon Raji Maynard on Whidbey Island in the state of Washington. And I've had glimmers of dragons probably through my entire work of the last 30 years, but I've never focused on them. And they seem to be popping up in so many places that I'm just curious. I don't know much about them, nor did I take time to tune into them. I wanted to be here first, and then I'll do my own exploration afterward. So I'm really glad to be with you today. And I pass to Deborah.
Thank you, Sharon. I'm Deborah. I've always had probably since about 8, had dragons around me just for protection. They show up every now and then. I'm like, okay, but I don't know much about them. And a couple of weeks ago, I was getting a massage and we was relaxed, and one showed up and said, "We want you to help release us. We're captured and can't get out." And I'm like, okay. And so I brought it to the group, and here we are, because I don't know much about them, and I don't know how they got imprisoned or who, but it was said that, that they had not been willing to do the work of the evil ones, and so that they were sent away. So I don't know anything about them other than what I see in movies and when they show up around me sometimes. And I will tag Chris.
Thank you, Deborah. Chris Brown in Lebanon, Oregon. I was weirded out by my first experience with a dragon, who his name is Benjamin, and he asked me to bring a proposal to a council. I had no idea about any of this, but I'm like, okay, we're doing something new. Let's do it. So I did it. Couldn't tell you what the proposal was today. It was good. And since then, I have a relationship with 5 dragons. And sometimes connect daily with each of them, but they each have their own role or gift for me. And I pass to Sharon.
Yeah.
Better?
Better.
Okay, thank you. I don't know how these work, but my husband around, I would. Anyway, thank you, Chris, and hello from Boulder, Colorado, Sharon Alexander. And I have a dragon outside my window, which I only just noticed this fall when all the leaves fell from the biggest tree that is right there out my dining room window, and it's a dragon face. So and then I guess since a long time ago read The Mists of Avalon and always wondered, why do they go about fighting the dragons? I've always wondered, and Merlin and can't dragons be benevolent guides or parts of our community? And so, but I don't really know much about dragons, and I'm curious, and that's what brought me here tonight. And I'll pass to Karen.
Thank you, Sharon. And like others here, I've always been fascinated with dragons, but I have not had a personal relationship with one. I've been more attuned to the fairy kingdom, which I consider close to dragons, but not exactly the same. And so I'm here to learn more about dragons. And I'll pass to Janelle.
Thank you, Karen. I'm on Big Island of Hawaii, and I don't have any personal, experience necessarily with dragons. I always, like, as a little girl, Puff the Magic Dragon was just like, oh, could it be? Could it be? Like, oh, so fun to imagine. And then a few years ago, um, I like downloaded something from a witch, and she was explaining how to like create your own dragon. And that I didn't want to be responsible for. I didn't want to have like this entity, this being that then I needed to feed and interact with, and then feel neglectful or anything if I didn't do it. So the fact that like the Dragon Kingdom is kind of coming and saying, "Hey," I'm like, "Oh, if you're already here, I'll play with you. How can we work together?" So I'm very curious. Um, as to what that could be like. And so I'm going to pass to my sister friend Haley, who's not on camera, but she is here.
Just had to, oh, sorry, I'm muted. I just had to swap from my phone to the computer. Hello, I am Haley. I'm an Aussie living in Hawaii. Again, interest in, fascination with dragons since childhood. But I have noticed a lot of my speech lately being a fire horse year. Instead of saying fire horse, I'm saying fire dragon without so maybe that's what my attraction is. But I haven't met one. So if you want to send one of your mates along, that'd be great. I'll be on the outlook for them.
Marielle.
Sorry, Marielle.
That's okay.
I don't have any experience with dragon, so I'm just except watching the movie where the what's his name was in love with the dragon and they got baby dragons. You you remember that?
Shrek.
Right.
Shrek, yeah. So that's all for me. So who's left? Wait,
We're going up to Ren.
yeah.
All right. Well, I'm Raven Starwalker in Tucson, Arizona. And so this idea to let's just have a focused time to focus on dragons and see what comes up. And then and Sharon agreed that I could facilitate this, and I'm happy to do that. This is not a lecture of any kind. I'm going to read you a little bit of information from Lisa Renee's Ascension Glossary. But asking somebody about dragons is like saying, well, what is astrology? Right? You go, where do I start? So there's so much information about dragons. I remember reading books about them numbers of years ago. There's dragons of each element, an earth dragon, a water dragon, a fire dragon, air dragon. And there's decks of cards with dragons. There's people who've really gone into dragonology. And I'm not sure Disney has done a complete benefit to dragonkind any more than Tinkerbell is a representation of fairy, because it's in fairy world, it goes down to very serious, and I'm sure dragonkind are not frivolous beings. So, so there's a depth and a breadth that we'll be exploring for a long time. And first and foremost, I think I was talking this over with my friend. I meet with my friend Tia every week, and I said, "Oh, guess what? We're going to be talking about dragons on Saturday." And she said, "Oh, that's great," because she works with the dragons around here. South of Tucson are mountains. And she even said, "Wow, we have 3 rookeries." So I guess a rookery would be where the baby dragons are hatched and work from. And so she added that piece. And she also, in the middle of our discussion, she just sat back and went, "Whoa, a big black dragon just showed up here." And so I always follow along because we're in the field. And I went, oh, and she said, he has red eyes. And that I went, well, I'm not sure I like that, but I didn't say much. And then she said, he says he is a protector and he's been dormant for a long time and he's awake now. And he is taking responsibility for clearing the dragon nodes. We'll talk a little bit more about that. The dragon nodes of false dragons. So I thought, just like you said, false dragons. Well, in this time and day and age of all these fake stuff and, yeah, I went, oh, okay. So we may have other beings masquerading as dragons or what? Who to know? We're going to be living the question. So I thought that was fun. I said, well, does he have a name? And she said, no. And he says, pick one. So I said, Rex. He says, that'll do. He says, he said, I don't show up very often, but when I do, I'm good. So, I like that. Oh, and the colors of his eyes. He says the colors of his eyes change depending upon what he's clearing, what he's looking at. So I sort of like that idea too. And I said, well, is that like the black dragon that's in the dragon cards that I gave you? A whole set of gorgeous dragon cards. And Tia said, no, not that black dragon. That's different. So we got a different feel. So maybe Rex will show up today and give us a little more information and that. So anyway, so I'm going to read you these few statements from Lisa Renee in the Ascension Glossary. And that will be, I'm going to send that to Sharon. So it'll be written out for you. She can post it for you so you don't have to take notes. And that. And then I'd like each of you as I go through this to be thinking of your question, a question that you want to ask about dragons, because that's going to go in the field. And then we'll move into actually being in the field and participating in an open way about this and see what we're getting. So this is going to be an experiential wade in to our exploration. And I call it an initiatory exploration, because my experience has been when we start discussing it, that actually calls forth the energy into the field. So we'll be initiated, even though you say, Marielle or Haley, that you haven't experienced a dragon. It'll come up in our experience today, and you'll catch it, from us as we do this work. And I call field work, which actually I started doing with Sharon back in 2002 or 3 or 4, where we set the field and we put our intention in. And then it's like what I call improvisational theater in cyberspace. Okay, so if you're doing improv, you take the clue and say, Arlie says, oh, I see one, it's blue. And I might go, oh, there's water around it, So you piggyback and you use the best of your imagination. If you can't see it, but in your mind's eye, if you could see it, what would it look like? Now, Disney's dragons will get in there. I often see them in that cartoon kind of character. That's just the way your subconscious is going to throw you an image. Okay, so don't say, oh, I'm making that up, or that's a Disney or whatever. It's showing up because your making yourself available to your creative imagination. So if I were to say, put your hand out and imagine you have an apple in your hand. And then I say, and what kind of apple is it? What would you say? You know, is it a Granny Smith? Is it a Delicious? Is it a Honeycrisp? You know, is it a crab apple? You know, so your imagination, your creative self is gonna give you that picture. And that's coming from your ability to open to the information that's coming in. Well, just getting a chill on that. So that's what we're all going to be playing with. And the information that comes out of the field, we trust that information because this is a wisdom field we've created here. All right. You got another. Wow. They must be already here because I'm getting chills. That doesn't happen very often. So, so they're going to show up and we're just going to play the best game ever. You know, our dragon game number 1, you know, and see what and who shows up. All right. So anybody have any questions before I read you from Lisa Renee? Nope. Okay, put on my reading glasses. Okay, she has pages and pages of information in the Ascension Glossary about all kinds of things. So these are just some basic things that I sort of pulled out without getting overwhelmed. Origin and nature. They're called cosmic creators. Solar dragons are celestial form representatives of the cosmic crystal sun, the emerald order from the god worlds, which take on a physical form to embody within our time and space. Ancient builder races. They are considered the architects of the planetary creation and the guardian of its matter realm. 13 dragon beings. There are 13 primary creator dragon beings in the planet's crust that have been here for eons as guardians of the ley lines. And actually, Sharon, didn't you send a picture recently that showed a dragon as a mountain range? That wasn't you?
I
There
don't
was
know
a-
that it was me.
Okay.
I may have one, but I don't recall that I sent
Yeah.
it.
So it's a picture of a landscape of a mountain range, and when you look at it, it's a dragon with its head down. Yeah. Okay, 13 dragon beings, guardians of the ley lines. Stasis, sleep. They have remained dormant in the earth, often intertwined with geographical features like mountains, canyons, and seas, waiting for the planetary consciousness to lead and reach a higher level of awakening. So this may be time for Gaia as we work with her, you know, even more to wake up more. Dragon lines and nodes. They work through the dragon lines, which are planetary energy conduits, and dragon nodes, which are intersectional points to bring higher frequency currents to the planet. So the dragon lines or ley lines, as you know, go all over the planet, and where they cross, that would be a node. But you could, you know, it might tell you there might be a secondary node in your vicinity, or you may come across one. So anyway, dragon lines and nodes. Dragon lines and let's see, dragon eggs. These beings can reproduce themselves through dragon eggs which are anchored on the top of the dragon nodes to spawn new energetic spiritual development. So maybe my friend Tia's, maybe those rookeries are around nodes, that are just south of our city here. And in the mountains around here, we have a lot of mountains around here. Restoration. They are currently actively reversing the damage done to the planetary grids by the Black Sun entities and their AI machinery, which had previously hijacked the lines to control the Earth's energy. So they're in the process of restoration and assisting us, and anybody who's willing to work, with assisting the restoration of the planet. And then here's a small AI summary. That's just what it said in the notes. I don't know which AI, but this is, in essence, in the context of the Ascension Glossary, dragons are not viewed as mythical myths, but as real, high-dimensional, benevolent beings of light participating in the energetic resurrection of the earth. So those are the statements I pulled to, give us a little, sort of central thing to push off to today as we go into this process. So let's see if there's any questions, anything come up as we were talking about this? What was it, Karen? No, someone who said they weren't sure. After reading, what was it, that the dragons were negative or to be fought?
What's the
but-
Babylon, the princesses, Merlin,
It's better.
all of King Arthur mythology or stories, right? The Mists of Avalon, the princesses of Avalon, Merlin, right? Like whoever those, I don't know, princes, they go out and they fight the dragons, right? Like they do that. That was the, I don't know, let's say that, well, yeah, dominating in energies. And
Right.
I thought there could be an alternative.
Yeah, and certainly St. George and the dragon, he's the dragon, he slays the dragon. And there is something about being a dragon slayer. But I think there's really a lot more to be found out about that. Good or bad, it's certainly dragons are reptilians. Not like the reptilians we've got now, but we've got the whole draconian, we've got Draco, which is not, have not been good. Have certainly been, enslavers of humanity. So, there's things to be sorted out about that and what they, different branches of all kind. What do you think about that, Sharon?
Well, the thing that one of the things that kind of stuck out with me was the helping of that creating of the earth, of that field of that we're in, and the guardian. And the guardian of Gaia, and she didn't have the authority to call in the guardians for eons of time. Why would dominators want to slay the guardians of Gaia? Because they wanted to rape Gaia.
Yeah.
And so it seems to me that there's a relationship. I don't know if phoenixes are they're dragons too. Phoenix rising is dragons.
Yeah.
They're dragons. And what is the Phoenix rising? It's holding the energy, the codes of rebuilding, right? So that's what came up for me, like, oh, okay, God, it's like maybe the dragons are similar to the Sophia for the female humanity. the guardian, the Gaia, I mean, the dragons, are they then like the authority voice with Gaia? And that's why them being more active in the last, say, 12 years would be, and even more so now, would make sense, because before that, they could be kept under authority thumb as women have been.
Yes. Yes.
So that's one thing that kind of jumped out at me.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Deborah.
So one of the questions I've had is, in many parts of the world, they show up in mythologies, and there's, Sharon was saying, up in King Arthur times and stuff, it's probably some of the most recent recorded things of slaying the dragons and things. So when did they disappear? Why did they disappear? And one of the things I've gotten over different times when they show up is that wherever there's a huge area of a lot of wealth, like Monaco or different places, that it's been said that they guard the gold. That wherever you have communities that are very, very wealthy, there's usually a dragon place underneath them. I don't know if that's true. So that's another question. Is that true?
Yeah, is that
And
true?
where are they? And they, like you, in her thing, you said that they were sleeping, on purpose or imprisoned, sleeping, I don't know. My questions.
That's certainly yeah, and it gets to who had the well, the statement was that some dragons, many dragons, have been imprisoned and used for their energy, where they were, tied up or ensorcelled. And my friend Josie and I used to do, this was several years ago now, we were looking on the planet, we would do field work and look for places where dragons were being imprisoned. And we definitely found in the first and second sort of dimensions, and used and bound underneath these places, like the big banking cartels and the the domination over humanity. So they were imprisoned in a way, and we would find them and release them as we could. And we had a dragon rescue team. And I'm laughing because the only way it showed up in my imagination was two little tiny Disney dragons, and they had a little white t-shirt, short sleeve t-shirt, and with a red cross on it. Okay. And they would come with their stretcher. Okay, so they had a little stretcher and these two little dragons with the red crosses on, and they would go and pull out the ones that were still alive. Sometimes they were dead, and the others we could release, and the others needed to go to the dragon, had to go to the dragon hospital. So we did that as much as we can. So that's just to let you know that the images may come differently for you in terms of what's being done, but clearly they were many have been misused that way. Now, will there be some that actively work for the dark? I think that's possible too. So we have to agree that see that that's a possibility. And who's really a dragon slayer or not, and what that really means. So Okay, so Deborah, your questions. So should we just go around and the rest of you put your question into the field?
I just want to comment that, in with star beings, there we certainly we found all this with our own kind,
Yes.
and we've also found turncoats with our
Mhm.
own kind.
Mm.
And so I guess my question, I'm going to start here and then we can go around. My question is, I want to know, what is their original intention? That's still the truth. Because that's where I want to work with them, from what their original intention was, and then what is it that, because it seems to me that possibly what we've done to free our family is what's needed for the dragon group kingdom to be freed in order to do the rising up that's necessary. So that's my
Right.
question. What is their original intention? And then what is it that we are called to do? That's me.
That's great. Chris.
I am to say, thank you, Dragon, that just like we could find information about rocks, stones, and gems in books, but that's not where we're going to look. We're going to ask. And so when I ask, why'd you guys leave? Who made you leave? From my filters, because humanity changed and they didn't feel welcome or useful in the manner that they wanted to be. That's my personal answer for my dragons. I didn't find it in a book. Not that books aren't useful. My question for the field of dragons: what in humanity right now is ready to be purified by dragon fire, so that the original harmony of Earth can be restored? And now I have another question. What is ours to remember now that the dragons are helping with? Thanks.
Lovely. Who's next? Karen?
Thank you. I really resonate with the question about what was your original intent to the dragons, and how are we to help? How do we work together to facilitate their original intention? I do have a sense of the general goodness of dragons. I'm listening to all the stories. I've watched the Merlin stories, a lot of dragons in stories, and they always felt like fantasy characters to me. And when we're talking about dragons today, they feel like solid energy. And in my life, when I think about dragons, I think about them as solid energy, not as the fantasy characters. Those two never came together for me. I didn't even question it. They're just two different things. But I'm really intrigued with the solid energy of the dragons. What was your original intent, and how can we facilitate and help you now? Those are my questions.
Beautiful. Janelle.
Thank you, Rin. It's been many years since I seen you.
Yeah.
So I was told that dragons are doers, right? They need a job to do. And so I'm curious if about collective versus personal work. And, how do they choose their people and um, the duration? Is it like a lifelong relationship or is it project based or things like that?
Great. Let's see, Haley. I don't see Haley on here, but I'm remembering her name.
Yeah, no, I'm still here.
There you are.
There's a few, just have to move the tab across the top. I'm still
Oh,
here.
that. Oh, okay.
I think the question I would ask is why now? Like, I'm 55 years old and I love dragons, and Dragonheart's my favourite movie. But why now am I feeling more drawn to them? Like, what is it they want me to know? Or, yeah, that's pretty much it. Why now? Why now, and what do I need to know?
Great. Okay, is that all of us, I think? Oh, Marielle.
Yeah.
Marielle and then Sharon. Mhm.
My question is, what's the relationship between dragons and other entities like angels?
Mhm. Okay. Sharon Alexander.
My questions have been voiced in some way through others, and I would like to know what role they have played, or they are to play, or they are playing in bringing harmony and balance, the energy of all good to the earth or through the earth at this time. And what can I do? What do they need from me to support that? Yeah.
Okay, great.
I want to throw in another question because I know when we as star beings, we had to get permission to be on Gaia originally. So we had an agreement with this field we call Earth or Gaia, and we didn't know we would be not able to fulfill on it till now. But I'm wondering if did we make an agreement with dragons way back, the Dragon Kingdom? And then you could say, well, what about the fairy, the gnomes? Did we make an agreement with all these various kingdoms as we came here? Because we didn't invade, we came with agreement. So I'm just, original purpose, but also we had an agreement. I'm sure we made agreements, but we haven't been able to fulfill on either.
Mhm. Okay. Well, that sounds like a good rich field of questions. Field of dreams, field of questions. So let's just prepare for my suggestion now is that we go into a field work where we're in the consideration of dragons in our relationship. We have questions for them. Maybe they have questions for us. So be ready to take notes if you need to, and we'll have this open. Can we have everybody have their mics off so we can piggyback?
I mean, mic's open, not
Open.
so unmute everybody. Then
Unmute. Yeah.
then as you're in that place of imagination, you can say this is what and this is what, and then others will hear each other what we're getting through our own way of interpreting energy.
Yes. Yes, I think today's our open experiment, and we'll do it this way today and see how that goes. See what we get. All right, everybody, ready to travel? to our place. What's our best platform, Sharon, on second world, first world?
No, they're saying you're just travel from the fourth world,
Okay,
and
our platform in the fourth world. So we will travel there and taking a breath and grounding yourself, opening your sensibilities, and of course our hearts to Dragonkind, our invitation. They've known about this invitation since we decided on the pop-up, and invite them and all of our guides and spirit helpers with this.
the Sophia Collective is holding that field for us in total safety, along with the Christ Heart Authority. So we're in good stead.
I just had an image of a round table or a circle of dragons as the Dragon Council.
And what I hear is the Phoenix is like we're cousins. There's dragons within that kingdom who have various jobs to do. And when we look at the Phoenix rising, they are definitely part of that council, and their unique rising helping restructure on the planet is that's their unique contribution.
Mm-hmm.
Ron, the earth dragon, who is gold, green, and blue, says that dragons are part of Gaia's ecosystem of guardians, like an ecosystem. Thank you.
Is there a part of the Dragon Council that helped design the field of Gaia?
I'm picking up that they are associated with heat or heat centers or flow, liquid flow through or around the earth. And they felt a need to dampen down their power in ways that was much like hiding as destruction, evil, domination grew.
There's intergalactic dragons that are helping align earthly and galactic consciousness.
Is there within the Council of Dragons either a plan or a group or maybe something already in place that can transition the shutdown, slowdown, entrapment that has occurred over the times within their kind, within their kingdoms? Is there something that in process, as the dragons are able to be more participatory, we want to be with them, but is there a field or actions being taken to help them restore in similar ways to what we've had with the star families to restore? What do you get?
And I'm getting that they will fly up as the energies thin, as the dampening, the darkness thins out around them or around us, around the planet, so they can rise again.
We get that there is an earth-based dragon, a subset of the Dragon Council, because of course there are many worlds, many galaxies. This is such an ancient species, but an earth dragon, one group that's ready to rise as we do, given this time and our planets, Gaia, Sophia, Grace, Tara, the time of coming out of the enslavement and into the restoration and the creation of a new interspecies dialogue and working. I see some big black chains sort of breaking open, like chains just being burst for all of us. There's something about our joint endeavor now that's very important. That's why this is coming up.
Within the Dragon Kingdom, this is just a question. Within the Dragon Kingdom, do they work best individually or with groups? Like angelic realm work best with one-on-one who are in Earth experience. Is there personal dragons that also help with personal work, and then dragons who work with group work, and are there dragons also that have helped secure the resources Gaia has been holding, that's been been basically invaded because the dragons and many others weren't able to secure guardianship of resources? But do they play? Where do they do group, individual, both? Are they part of the guardians of resources, connection?
Sharon, I kind of get, yes, it's like the security team. You might hire them to be your individual bodyguard, your company bodyguard, or your oil fields.
Okay.
One of the things I keep being shown is St. George the Dragon Slayer, and that a lot of them were imprisoned or left, especially during the Middle Ages with the takeover of the church by domination and controlling energies. And so that those groups could have more control over the people and their resources and all, and not have the dragons trying to get in the way of that. That they were aware of what their powers were. And so actively kind of put out that, I don't know. And Sharon, I know I have a personal dragon. So
We are part of their ecosystem. We are a necessary part of their ecosystem. I am in a rookery with a whole bunch of grandmother dragons. There's 9 nests of dragon eggs. And when I first entered this rookery, one of the grandmother dragons slammed her tail down, startled me. And I'm like, you mad? Am I not to be here? It was more of a about time slam of the tail. Thank you, grandmother dragon.
I have a question about that, Chris.
Yeah.
Is there work for us to be doing in rookery? Are we needed in the rookery?
Well, they'd like to have these eggs hatch so they can do something else.
And can we help with that?
There's a grandmother dragon way in the back who says, listen, we went dormant because humans stopped listening.
Here's a question, Chris. There were 9 original clans, star family clans, that landed on the earth. 9. Did we then each in that each village have a rookery as part of our support here, or our support of them? Is there a significance in that 9?
It feels so. Nobody's speaking up, but it feels so. More so at one time than for sure now.
Yeah. Doing a seminar. See you next time.
there's a lot of books coming out for young people now about dragons. I know my granddaughters are enamored of a series of these dragons books. And Chris, when you were talking about grandmother dragon there in the rookery, I got that a lot of those eggs are personal guardian dragons. And they're waiting for the right beings to come to. Human beings.
Or the consciousness.
Yeah. And I don't know if it has to be a young person or if it can be an older person, but they're kind of waiting to see who pairs up with they have to pair them. it's a pairing process to make
And
sure it works.
the pairing is connected or aligned with the Phoenix codes
Mm.
Sure.
of awakening, newness.
I don't know that they have that their job is to eliminate, like the Sophia is to eliminate energy of domination, to eliminate that energy. So were the dragons there to help support the design, the building, the original villages and the original communities? Because I don't know that they were they intending to fight? I don't think so. I mean, Sophia was intended to just stand and look him in the eye and say, you can't be here, and domination energy gone. So dragons we associate sometimes with sword and fight, but I don't know that they were to fight. What do you get? War, I don't think that was their agreement. I don't know. What do you get?
I get no, that's part of our not listening. And they could have wiped everybody out. They're that powerful, but that's not the agreement with Earth. That's not a healthy ecosystem.
I got it. It is part of protection of Gaia's resources, part of protection of us, but it's also, Ren said that they were original architects to design and build the cosmos, as I understood her to say, from the Ascension things, Chronicles, whatever.
I guess it's more they had the ability to move things quickly. Like if the riches needed to be moved, they could be moved. If we needed to change from one place to another, we'd be told to, and we stopped listening. So was that ability to move and the flexibility and the grace of moving where we needed to move, being where we needed to be, that is so associated with listening well, that ability of that dragon energy.
Well, and it feels the primal, I have the feeling is the primal force of movement, of creativity, of strength. The opposite of holding back and hiding and so the primal force very much feels like it, and that each person is empowered with that. How could we possibly not have confidence in ourselves?
And Quetzalcoatl. Quetzalcoatl is a feathered serpent, dragon, bringer of knowledge and civilization.
Yep. Are they connected with the UFOs? So would the first step for us individually be to decide or choose if we wanted to explore the companionship relationship with some of the beings of integrity within the dragon family kingdom, is to declare we are interacting. To start with, yes, we have connections, and then to watch and listen how that opens for each one of us, because perhaps the role that our dragon would play, it would be very different day to day and person to person. So would we start by saying, I'm ready, and then what do I need to be even more ready, or what's in the way of, and then say, this is the relationship I'm going to explore. Because it sounds like they're ready, like their eggs are ready to hatch. Do those grandmothers help the newly hatched dragons connect with and work with and prepare? So do they become mentors to the dragon and star being? So we're being mentored too.
I get that they are very gentle and loving beings, and that's the relationship they always intended to have with others as part of that ecosystem. And a given, I suppose, would be listening to each other, not overriding interests and roles and desires for harmony. But that they can be fierce, of course. And when paired with a partner in star families, it can be a very beneficial and uplifting and powerful relationship.
I'm really feeling that. It's like when we talked about ignition and we changed our names from winged dragons to sparks. And we sparked the dragons to come back in a different way, to move through us, because we're ready to ride that fire horse, and ride this dragon energy. Because to ride a dragon, you have to be in total telepathic, oneness with, like you're a good horse rider when you really get in tune with your horse. And horses are a representation of dragons in our world on the planet now. So horses absolutely connected with dragon. And but I'm just getting that maybe our circle here in our Sacred Ground Institute in collective is to be mentored by the grandmothers, to accept responsibility, to husband the eggs if that's what's needed, and I don't know, to jump in that brazier cauldron together and see what we could bring, because now we have to bring it. We got people blowing things up, we have to bring an energy that can match it.
I think it's important to let them know they're welcomed and that we want that. We want a partner.
Yeah.
And we want them to feel safe that they can come back and reveal and contribute and be nourished by and protected.
The council just said, here.
And the dragon out here, the tree, it says smile. It's important to smile.
Guess I'm curious because it started when I was hearing one say, some of us are imprisoned and need to be released. And is that still the case? Because we put in place some teams to start working on that. So is that still needed, or?
They're not interested in connecting with people who aren't trying to do things differently. They're not interested in people who are just going along. Those are people who are not listening. Those who are working to protect and transform Mother Earth. That's who they're interested in having a relationship with.
In answer to your question, Deborah, I get that it is in place, it is going, it's not completed, but it is in good hands.
Thank you.
The healing and the releasing of. Yes, and I agree with you, Chris. They're ready to be a part of those who are leading the new. Excited about that.
Go. Goodbye, all.
Bye, Sharon.
Thank you.
Good to see you.
It was wonderful. Likewise.
There was a question earlier about, do they dissolve energies or something like the outsider energies? I work with a fire dragon Enson, and that's part of our relationship, is using fire as transformation, dissolving energies that harm Mother Earth, but also igniting inner power.
I'm understanding, and is there definitely is a group, a segment within the kingdom who has that, I'll say, as their agreement or assignment to work to dissolve the energy of outsiders within the kingdom of the dragons, to eliminate that energy, just as we have some who are working to eliminate the energy of the outsiders, dominators within the star family's energy. So they also have that going on for them now. Correct, Chris?
In the collective field, yes.
Janelle, there's a blue-green dragon circling the big island.
Do you know what popped up for me when she said that was, remember, you walked on fire.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow, I'm seeing a bunch of them take to the skies. And it's good. It's a good sign.
Blessings, dragons.
Yeah. It is like a blessing.
Fred, would you read again from the Ascension glossary? I think was the first part of it, the concept that they were what, architects, that those few sentences. Would you
Right.
read that again?
Right. Okay. Let's see there. Okay. Okay. Yeah. take on a physical form to embody an ancient builder races. They are considered the architects of the planetary creation and the guardians of the matter realm. So when you asked if they were connected to the UFOs, I went, they were here first. They were here before any UFOs, like the original spacefarers. So architects of the planetary creation and guardians of its matter realms.
So when we talk about Gaia, that's one planetary.
Yes.
Exactly.
That's
It's the
one
whole
planetary.
cosmos.
Mhm.
Yeah. So they're throughout the entire Laniakea region, as we know, Laniakea region, as architects to design planetary situations and
Mhm.
guardian of that matter.
Mhm.
Were they unable to keep that guardian up? When we landed, we brought the toxicity of outsiders. So we brought them with us, thinking we were going to end them here quickly. Did that, that would have interfered with the dragon's guardianship? Gaia had no authority. So did that make it? Do the dragons need the consciousness of the field, which is Gaia, to be part of the authority to keep the guardianship going? And it wasn't there. So is that why, as we devolved and stopped listening, we didn't have the authority voice either, and we stopped listening to them? There was no authority voice from either divine families or from Gaia for a long period of time. Did that disrupt their ability to be guardian of Gaia?
That makes sense. And if everybody was falling in terms of abilities, with that, then everyone went their own way and did their best, what strategy they had to use, because the original synchrony had been broken. Mm-hmm. And I think Gaia really does need to consciously now make this connection, us through what we're bringing forth here.
And maybe that's why they can begin to appear, because
Yes.
the Sophia voice, the Gaia voice of authority, both coming around the same time, 2011 or so, that those two voices is now making it possible for the dragon to be brought back into the picture. And that may be why now they're now present, because the authority voice is back.
Mm-hmm.
So, two things. One, if the dragons are the architect of matter and planetary matter, were they here before Gaia to create the planet?
I think yes.
I get yes.
Mm-hmm.
So, did Gaia come with their permission?
Yeah.
Creative.
Being overseeing the creation, their creation. And then the other question is, they don't need UFOs. They go between the spaces.
Right.
Yeah.
They just can go anywhere, dimensions, whatever. And go and create new planets and things. And then, so the question is, with working with Gaia, do we also need to work with the dragons who helped create the matter to ask if what we're asking for is in tune with how they created Gaia?
I think we have to have agreement with whomever we work with, including any within the Dragon Kingdom. That there has to be an agreement that what we are suggesting or what we're hearing. I mean, there has to be a consciousness between whomever we're working with, including the dragons or those who specifically were architect of Gaia.
I'm thinking more, I hear what you're saying, but we're asking Gaia, okay, is this good for the planet or whatever? Can we do this? But it also that we have to make the new connections with Gaia and the dragons, because if they're in charge of the particulate matter and how it's formed, they might be the ones who say, no, that's going to break the bonds between these things and create this horrible thing that Gaia may not have been privy to. It's, you know.
So that would say they're an integral part of the rebuilding.
Right.
Especially the organic timeline, literally. The organic way, not the transhumanist way.
Getting an answer to my question in regards to personal support and collective support. And what's coming through is they're available. And cultivate relationship. And in regards to the collective, it's been happening. That's why they're waking up. That's why, some of these things are happening now. And the personal is as you would anything else do with me. So, interesting.
Let's see, I'm getting the word solar. And that's the first part of Lisa's entry here. Solar dragons are celestial form representatives of the cosmic crystal sun. We're having so much sun activity now. And I think that's just another way where, clearly they're showing up. And what's showing up is this really initial, dragon ancient energy, to take us into the new cycle. We're ending a cycle, of 260 million years cycle. So it's time we come back, we come back full circle. And now we have this new creative energy and solar and Helios is the partner of Gaia, the divine mother that's in the earth. Yeah, I don't know. Yes. Yeah.
Wow. Yes.
Traveling time.
Open doors. Yeah. Certainly open doors and maybe connect some dots here. And like I said, Janelle, it's like the invitation is there, is made, and the listening is really important. That inner listening is always so important, isn't it?
Yes.
Anything else that seems to be popping?
Need to put in our field. I feel such heart energy in this field. And our exploration, it just feels really good.
I would love for us to come back together again and do some more collective connection with them.
Kind of like doing maybe I don't know if you want to do a month down the road to see what we've experienced and what's come up and something like that, Janelle.
Yeah, maybe around solstice.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I like that
That's
idea.
a good idea.
Mhm.
What is that in June?
June, yeah, end of June.
Would this time of the on a Saturday from 5 to 6:30 Pacific time, would that be a
Yeah, this worked great for me.
Works great.
and then those who I'm not going to put this out to the public. I'm going to just put it within our smaller circle of those like who are wanting to help rebuild and hold new and emerge. I mean, that's who they're saying they want to work with, and that's who I would share it with, and then they could decide to be here next time, seeing what they has opened for them.
Yes. Yeah, that feels good because this is going to keep cooking, and I like it that it's the Dragon Kitchen.
Kitchen.
In the kitchen with the dragons.
Oh, we're not eating the dragons.
No,
We're
no, no.
feeding each other.
And they're
We're
not
feeding
eating
each
us
other.
either.
No.
Yes.
Feeding each other.
We're feeding each other.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the planet.
It's interesting because I found so many times in the work as I, went along that many things that was shown in the public was exactly opposite to what was really the truth, So men are the nurturers, women are the leaders, exactly opposite. So here what I'm sensing is, we get the dragons like roaring and mean and war and they're saying, no, their heart.
Yes.
Their heart, their power, they're listening.
Yeah.
They're not with dragons with a sword.
Without domination.
Yeah.
Yes, definitely without domination. That's where they're at.
Mhm.
And the eggs in the nests
Yes.
are seeds of new humanity.
Mhm.
Hmm.
We're all becoming new.
Yeah, we are. We are.
Create.
And we know that even in our tag work that we were asked to let go of all past lifetimes,
Mhm.
all past life birth plans. It's as if you were totally a new soul
Mhm.
today. And then what is it that you consciously create as your life plan, which is corresponding with what we're talking about here too, isn't it?
Yes. Builder races.
Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Well, Ran, over to you for closure.
Well, thank you, everybody. Let's just take a big breath and let it out and let our field just slowly come in and say thank you to our Dragon Councils and all the beautiful information that we got today from ourselves and each other and our new partners in a new way, newly conscious. And we will be feeling that over the next couple of months as we move to our next dragon meeting, unless we have to have one sooner. Unless somebody gets tapped on the shoulder and says, Dragon Council says we
Pop
need
up.
to powwow.
Yeah, we can do that. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Ran.
Thank you.
Beautiful, beautiful work together. Bye.
Bye.